Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, and City Manager. My name is John Harris Maurer, and I'm the Public Policy Director for Equality Florida, the state's largest civil rights organization dedicated to securing full equality for Florida's LGBTQ community. I've also lived in Tallahassee for more than a decade. I was married in Tallahassee, and I want to start a family in Tallahassee. Equality Florida is deeply disturbed by Chief Revel's recent appearance at the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association. We respect and honor every person's individual freedom of religion. And it is our mission to ensure that LGBTQ Tallahasseans are respected and treated fairly. Chief Revel's appearance and remarks raise legitimate questions about that in the department. The Billy Graham Evangelistic Association is unambiguously anti-LGBTQ. The association recently published an article entitled "Standing Strong Against Godlessness" that addressed its position on same-sex marriage. Its president, Franklin Graham, has accused gay people of, quote, recruiting children, has insisted, quote, there is no place for compromise on same-sex marriage, has praised Vladimir Putin for Russia's anti-LGBTQ propaganda, and has conflated celebrating LGBTQ pride with celebrating lying, adultery, or murder. That association flew Chief Revel in as a speaker expressly because of his position with the Tallahassee Police Department. His remarks focused on using your platform to advance your agenda, presenting Christ on your agenda, and working Christ into your agenda. It was expressly about the nexus of his faith and his role as the chief of police. Our questions and concerns are not about what Chief Revel does in his personal time, but we do have questions. Is a city official, particularly one in such a position of power, proselytizing to city employees, including LGBTQ ones? Chief Revel suggested that spreading knowledge of Jesus as a savior is among his top goals for the department. Why should that be a priority for TPD, and how is that being put into practice? When Chief Revel says that God placed him in his position for his purposes, what happens if the chief's faith is not fully supportive of the LGBTQ community, or people of other faiths, or people of no faith at all? Chief Revel has every right to observe his faith in his private capacity, and that faith may even drive him to be a better chief of police. But there is a line here to be respected. The LGBTQ community has questions, and we want to hear that Chief Revel understands that line and abides by it when serving Tallahasseans, including LGBTQ Tallahasseans. Thank you.
I did listen to the remarks made by Chief Revel. I consider myself a person of faith, but that was deeply concerning to me. I've had people reach out, and I don't know what that is going to look like. Those discussions, I have not spoken to the chief myself, but I do think that's something that we do need to have a serious discussion.
We've heard from the public some concerning details about what appeared to be a paid speaking engagement from our police chief, which appears to be, from what I've seen, representing the city of Tallahassee and divorced from his individual capacity. So based on the feedback I've heard from the public, I think there's just a lot of unanswered questions that, I think need to be looked at, and that's, was this a paid speaking arrangement? Was it approved by the city of Tallahassee? Do we have a policy for outside speaking engagements for our top officials of the city of Tallahassee? Does TPD have a department agenda as described by the police chief in that meeting? And what are we doing as a city to send the message to the entire public that our organization respects all religions and sexual preference choices? That I just wanted to, I'm not asking for an agenda item to come back, but I am asking the city manager to hear the public as they're asking questions and get those questions answered for them.
Mr. Manager?
Yes, sir. Noted. I will say, and I can confirm, that the chief was not representing the city of Tallahassee. I listened to the recording myself. I heard no mention of that, and I can confirm that he was not. He was not on city time. He was on his personal time on his own. So I know those answers to that question. But certainly, I hear you, and we've heard the public. In fact, John Harris, I think you've talked directly to the chief I would encourage that, again, as much as you think that is necessary. The chief does represent, he's a public servant, he's been a public servant for nearly 30 years and served our community. And anybody that listened to the audio, he kind of gave his own testimony of his journey in the department, becoming a chaplain in the department. So he is a man of faith, we know that. And what I also know is he's got an open door. He serves our entire community and he does it without any bias. And I think the very best connection is directly with him, to hear from him and who he is as a person, to create that bond and that respect. But I certainly hear the comments, Commissioner Matlow, and anybody with any concerns at all, I would encourage them to work directly with the chief to learn who he is and hear who he is. But he certainly was not at a conference representing the city of Tallahassee. He was there on his own.
Commissioner Matlow.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. No further items today.
Well, we've had a wonderful meeting, great discussion on many different topics. I just want to close and remind everyone in the Tallahassee public that this is a very loving community and a very open community. And we don't care where you live, where you play, where you work, who you love, or where you worship. We are all one Tallahassee. Now, we will have challenges and we will have hurdles. Our feelings will get hurt and we will need to have discussions. That will never end. But I do know, and I think I speak for everyone up here at the dais, that we truly believe that we are an open community. We will wrap our arms around those that are hurt, those that are sad, those that need comfort, and together as one community, we will move forward. Appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Seeing no further business before the City Commission of the City of Tallahassee, we are adjourned.